Hello, my name is Alaric Hamacher, and today I would like to show you a workflow for creating stereoscopic subtitles on a 3D project. And the background is that most software, also Davinci Resolve, has a very good feature for creating subtitles in 2D, but you will see that there are some situations where we might to move the subtitles a little bit in front of the screen in order not to overlap the 3D image that is shown on the screen. And for this, there's actually a specification in the SMTPE specification and standard for creating digital cinema packages, which allows to add a Z value to the subtitle file. And since we can actually edit everything in 3D in Davinci Resolve in the studio version, I created a workflow integration plugin that allows to retrieve this information and to combine it to make it stereoscopic 3D subtitles. For this, I'm going to show here a project I'm working on, and it's actually very easy to create subtitles in Davinci Resolve. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it is maybe interesting for you to see that you have here a feature that allows you to create subtitles from audio. This is actually really very comfortable and an amazing tool, and there are also other tools related to text which came up here. So there's the audio transcription in case you need this. So it's actually really quite cool. So I'm assuming you have done this and created subtitle which looks more or less like this. I'm going to play this.
They built cities in the middle of an impenetrable jungle, temples, palaces, and pyramids that served as astronomic observation stations.
So in 2D everything is fine, but if we would like to see this in stereoscopic 3D, you will see that this behaves a little bit different. So I'm going to go to the color page. You see I have here this one single 3D video I imported, and in order to visualize this 3D, I go to the 3D settings and choose stereo. So this is by default going to give me the here my settings that I choose, the black and white, and you can actually see that in this special scene, if you take your cyan and red and cyan glasses to watch this in 3D, you will see that the 2D subtitle is actually crossing the body of this lady standing in front of the image. And this is the kind of situation where you see that this subtitle is 2D. It is actually floating exactly on the level of the screen, while we have some negative parallax here in this image. And in order to fix this, we would have to move the subtitle a little bit more in front of the actors here, and this is the purpose of this procedure. So in order to do this, I'm making the following workflow. I'm going to render all these subtitles here out as a separate movie, and I'm going to re-import this again, and the workflow integration plugin is going to help me to find the correspondence and segmentation of these videos. So in the first step, let's render out these subtitles as a separate subtitle track on transparent background on alpha. And for this, I'm going to change a little bit the interface. So we don't want to have this we don't want to have the movie, and I'm going to mute the sound also in any case. And in order to have really a transparent background, we need to have some background. So in this case here, Davinci will not render only the subtitles because there is no underlying video clip. And for this I have created now here an empty PNG file. So this is a single image, and I'm just going to add it here on a new track and extend this here until the end of my whole movie. So we have now one video element, which is this empty PNG. We have deactivated the video and the audio, and we have our subtitles. However, this is not yet going to render an alpha channel. This requires some little additional setting. For this, in the color page, we're going to tell Davinci to create some output for us. So you see here we are outputting this green channel, which is RGB, and we also want to output the alpha channel. So I'm going to right click and actually add an alpha output, and by connecting this is going to tell Davinci that I want an alpha output. And it is still black here, so in the panel here for this key, I activate key output, and you see that now the color has changed. And if we go back here to the setting here, we activate our underlying image track. So this is now actually transparent. So we have achieved the first part, and we're going to render this out. So in this workflow, I will render this subtitle movie to a file called subtitles. I will save this on my desktop, and I only want to export the video. However, you must be aware that not all video formats support an alpha output. So in this case, I'm going to choose QuickTime and ProRes, and also within ProRes there are a couple of settings, and actually here only the last two ones support alpha. So if you choose this one, this is going to give you an alpha channel. If, of course, you also click this checkbox here, export alpha, and make sure that your resolution is matching your timeline resolution. Now, since this is a stereoscopic movie, there are different options for rendering this. We only want to have one eye, so let's choose the left one. That's enough for our workflow. And if you scroll down, you will have the option for the subtitles. We want to export the subtitles. So make sure this is checked and choose burn into video. So we don't want to have this as a separate file. We want to have this burned into the video. So choose this one. Make sure here one eye is selected, and the export alpha is also on, and that you have selected a format here that does support an alpha channel. So if you have done this, you should be able to add this to the render queue and render all. So I have a Mac Mini M1 here, so not a very powerful machine, but you see, since this is only subtitles and not a lot of other video processing, this goes quite quick, and is rendering the output video. In the next step, we're going to re-import this video back into Davinci Resolve, and we're going to create an ADL edit decision list in order to separate this one block video into these very little segments again. So let's finish this rendering, and this is the initial step that is almost finished. So this is done. Let's check the result on the desktop. We have created here this file with the subtitles. Okay, and I'm going back here to my edit page, and on the left side here in the media pool, I'm going to drag this subtitles file here. So this is a 2D video, and in order to adjust the 3D settings, we will have to change this to a 3D video clip. And fortunately, Davinci offers a function for doing this. If you right click here on your mouse click, you will have this setting here, convert to stereo. So this is not going to add some depth information. It is actually taking the same clip for the left and for the right eye, so that in later editing you can actually apply stereo settings to this clip. So you choose this, and you will see that this has changed also to this 3D logo. And now I'm back here at the same timeline where I had before my temporary background picture. I remove this, and I'm going to replace the subtitles here with the previously created clip. And let's see now if this is working. I don't see here anything of the background. If I reactivate this, you will see that I have the original video that I can see again in Davinci Resolve. I have, however, I have here two subtitles track. The one that is actually this 2D subtitle as a subtitle, which I can edit, and the other one, which is the video 2 track, the track on the top with the video which I rendered. So I will disable the subtitle track because this is not what I want to touch now. And actually in this step here, we see now the subtitles rendered like this. Okay, so the thing, if we wanted to change this convergence value for everything, this would be very easy, but actually we would like to individually modify or be able to modify 3D settings for any of these individual clips. And for this, I'm going to make this a little bit different. I'm not going to import the subtitles movie directly here on the timeline. I'm going to create an edit decision list. And for this, I'm temporarily removing this again. And I'm going to show you here that we have this workflow integration plugin for stereoscopic subtitles. And if I choose this, this window opens, and the workflow integration plugins are actually like an application inside Davinci Resolve. They run on Electron, which is a framework using JavaScript and the Resolve API. And what this plugin does in a first step, it's going to analyze what you have here on the timeline, checking the subtitles, and it's going to create an ADL which corresponds to the in and out point of every title from the subtitles. So if you click here this button, this is going to create here the edit list in the CMX format, which is a very old and still used format. And we can save this EDL now also to our desktop. So I'm saving this, and on my desktop I now have this EDL which I can open with any text editor, and you see that this has now here all the in and out points, and it is referring to the subtitles movie file which I created before. So this is the name that this editing list uses by default. So if you name the subtitles they will be automatically recognized. And if I go back now here into my edit page in the media pool, I can import this EDL, and for this we actually have this timeline menu point on contextual menu on the right, and import. So there are plenty of things you can import, and you want to choose here only the EDL file. I can choose EDL, and I have this window that opens here, and it's going to create a new timeline named subtitles. I don't change the other things, and I click OK. And in the last step, this is going to search for the file that is in the editing list, and I'm telling Davinci to look for everywhere. And as soon as I've done this, it has created here this EDL subtitles with all the subtitles according to what we had. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select everything and copy. And since you see here that this timeline now starts at the first value and not at 0, this is the position of the first subtitle, I will go to my subtitle file here in the beginning, and I will go here exactly to the same position. I make sure that I can insert the copied clips only here onto the video track 2, and if I hit Command V, this is pasting my subtitles into space. So this is a good moment to save the project, and we have now all the clips with the corresponding clips on our timeline. I deactivate the subtitles, and we can now see that we have the subtitles here in the image. So we are now ready to edit and check the subtitles in 3D. This is what we're going to do now. So I have deactivated now here this subtitle track. We have this track with all our subtitles as a video file, and we can now go to the color page. And we see that we have now for every subtitle here a different clip. So this is the very big advantage, that we can actually individually address these clips. And if I change my display mode here from mono to stereo, you see that we have now the background in stereoscopic 3D to watch with our red and cyan glasses. And additionally, we have in front the subtitles, so this does not look any different to compare to what we had before, but now we are actually able to change the 3D settings. So if you go to the 3D tab here, and you find this value here for convergence on the clip that you have selected, which corresponds to the subtitles, you can now position the subtitles. You can, by drag and drop, change this value to positive and to negative. So let's say we change this here to a value of approximately 10, and you see now that this is coming out of the screen. If you drag it in the opposite direction, this corresponds actually to pushing the subtitle inside the image. So this can be quite dangerous, because you might have some objects or content of the image that is going to overlap with these subtitles. So generally it's probably a better idea to keep the subtitles maybe at a safe value in front of the screen. You can also enter the values by hand if you want, and also maybe accelerate the process if you want to copy this in order to have similar values everywhere. So just going to copy a couple of values to show you how this works. And let's go to this situation, which we identified already as a problem before, that the subtitles in 2D are actually crossing the body of this person, and as the camera is moving, this becomes a bit uncomfortable. So in this situation, we would like to move the subtitle in front of the actress, and for this now we can actually very easily adjust the subtitle so that it stands in front of this person, and you basically proceed with this checking of subtitles one by one, and by this you can actually make a sort of quality control that nothing of your subtitles is going to overlap with the content. So I'm going to skip here. I'm not going to do everything in front of you right now, but I believe you have understood here the principle that we walk ourselves through the end to make these subtitles. And we have now two possibilities. We could actually render this whole stereoscopic subtitles as a composited video. So we could burn in this video track with subtitles and make a burned in subtitle track, but actually we don't want to burn in these subtitles. We don't want to touch the original picture. We would like to create an XML file with our text and the depth values, and for this we are going to use the Stereoscopic Subtitles Work Integration plugin again, and make sure that if you are on the edit page, that your subtitles track is here the topmost video tracks, because this is what the plugin is going to look for. And if you go again to this Stereoscopic Subtitles plugin, you will see on the bottom of part of this plugin the second part of this workflow. So we have done this, we have adjusted the convergence value, and we now want to generate DCDM stereoscopic subtitle file. So for this we have one option, which is use variable z. So this is in case you also did keyframe animations to change the convergence values during one subtitles. This can be necessary, maybe if something is moving. However, be aware that this feature is really not supported by all cinema projectors, so the more safe way is to use this without variable z, which is going to be a static 3D positioning of the subtitles. You have the possibility to add some text here, which will appear somewhere in the subtitle XML file as an annotation. And if you hit here the bottom make 3D subtitles, the plugin is going to execute and read the information from Davinci Resolve and going to create here your subtitles files, similar to the ADL. You can also save the XML file, and if you go to the desktop, you can open this with a browser, and you would see that the created file corresponds to the subtitles file, and the new element that was added here is the Z position, which is taken from the convergence value of our color page, and the text actually here comes from our original subtitles track. So it is not an image anymore, but it has become a text. So this is a connection between these two, and with this file basically you're able to position the settings in 3D. You see that we have negative values in this file. It is expressed in a percentage of the main picture width. So this would be about -1% of parallax, and minus implies that the subtitle is in front of the screen. 0 implies it is exactly on the screen, and if we had a positive value, this would be inside the screen. Again, this can be dangerous because this might overlap. So with this subtitles XML file, you can continue your mastering workflow and integrate this into your DCP package, and hopefully create very successful and happy 3D movies. So thank you very much for listening to this short description. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave me a comment. And of course, if you make 3D movies, I would love to see them. Maybe we can show one of them at our festival. Thank you very much for your attention, and all the best with 3-dimensional wishes.